You're listening to Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick in association with Wexford Insurances. Challenge us at Wexford Insurances 0818 31 30 30.
Welcome back to the show. I'm now joined in studio by Tom Byrnes of FunPacks.ie. Good morning, Tom, and thank you very much for joining me this morning.
Good morning, Karl, and thanks for having me in.
Tom, you might start by telling me a little bit about your own career to date, please.
Right, Karl. Well, I'm from Limerick, living in Kilkenny now. But I guess taking you right back, I started in the UK some 20 years ago. Went over there to college and ended up staying there. I got into the science and graphics business over there, primarily exhibitions. So we were up and down the UK, mainly at the NEC, and that kind of took me into working with designers and graphics people. So that's always given me a kind of a design edge to my career. So from there on then, as I said, I spent 20 odd years over there and then I returned to Ireland. And I saw an opportunity to work in the sign and graphics business. So, but we primarily were aiming at the hospitality sector and particularly the pub sector itself. So, after being in that for a couple of years, the no smoking ban came in, and we were seeing a lot more families coming back to hotels for meal times and so on. And management were forever asking me about, did we have anything to keep kids occupied around the table, because he found that kids were just having a quick meal and just leaving the table and causing havoc all over the place. So they wanted something to confine them to the table during meal times. So I looked and we couldn't find anything. So I guess what I did then was maybe try and come up with something ourselves. So the great thing about that is that I already had a market there, or a test bed for what we'd come up with. So we got some card. We actually remember getting some cutting mats and getting it up on our kitchen table, and we came up with a couple of prototypes. Took it back to the management of one particular hotel group, and he actually loved what we'd got, and he said, well, if you produce those, I'll be your first customer.
So that was the starting point for FunPacks.ie. So tell me, like lots of business people that I speak to on the show over the last 12 months have told me about the level of research that they've had to do in order to be able to provide their market with a particular product to satisfy the need. What research had to go into this particular product?
Most people, when they hear of research, you think of some person in a white coat with glasses and a clipboard. What I did was I actually asked parents in restaurant situations, you know, if you had something to occupy the kids, would you buy it? Would you be happy to have the hotel or restaurant supplied to you? And what would you like, and what would it have to contain? And more importantly, I asked some of the kids what would they like, and they gave me total different answers to what the parents were giving me. So I went with what the kids wanted, and that was really the basis of the content that went into the packs. I mean, as a result of that, then we went off and we formed a focus group of kids all over the country who we would pre-press, email out games, activities, content, and what we got back in from the kids went into the pack. And that really was key to the success of the packs themselves, that the kids did relate to the content in the packs.
So for those that haven't come across these fun packs before, what's in them?
Well, the packs themselves are the non-book format. So by that I mean they look nothing like a book. They're the size of a CD box. They open up into a cross-shaped format. Within that then we have 4 insert cards which are double-sided. The whole pack itself comprises of 16 different games, activities, jokes, did you knows and so on, and they all come with their own 4-pack colouring crayon set. So it's a comprehensive little kit. You know, the kids themselves would have absolutely loads to do. I mean, if you had to start and finish a pack, you could be looking an hour to an hour and a half to complete it. So we find the kids, they perceive the packs as a toy rather than an activity sheet. So they end up taking the packs with them into the car and usually back home. Now, we saw an opening there where we could brand the pack. So we spoke to a couple of the big guys in the business, and we said, listen, we can supply the packs to you branded. These packs would invariably end up back home with the kids. So keeping your message on the kitchen table, on the kitchen worktop, around the house. So, and today we all know kids determine where the adults go to eat. So 9 times out of 10 they'll say, let's go back to the place we got those cool fun packs. So you're getting a lot of repeat business out of the packs, indirectly and directly.
You have a great story about Ryanair. Tell us that.
Oh yeah, Ryanair, that's gone back some time. Well, I had an appointment in Dublin Airport one morning. I left Kilkenny about 6 to get up there for 8. The guy rang me as I drove into the airport, and guess what? He'd pulled out of the meeting, and I was absolutely, I thought, right, I'm on a roll here. I'm just going to, I've been going past Ryanair's office for weeks and weeks. I said, someday I'll go in there, and today seemed as good a day as any. So I pressed the buzzer on the gate that lifted the bar to get you into the Ryanair complex. Now, there was something wrong with the buzzer. It was broken, or the girl in reception couldn't hear me properly. So I said something about having an appointment with the buyer, and she thought, okay, come on in. So got into reception anyway, and she says, oh, sit over there, I'll give him a shout. So she rings this guy, your 10 o'clock is here. So, oh yeah, no bother. The guy comes down, takes me off to the boardroom. And then it dawned on him very quickly, I wasn't his 10 o'clock appointment, and he thought he'd missed the appointment, or he made the appointment by mistake. But anyway, he says, listen, you're in, what have you got? And I said, we have this children's product for airlines. We have it already in the hospitality sector. We think the airline sector would be absolutely ideal for this. Show me, he said. So we showed him the packs. Anyway, he pushed his diary over to me. He said, look at the last page of the month and see what's penned in there. And so I opened to the last page of the month, and in the back of he had source in-flight kids products, and he says, and there I was 3 weeks prior to him going to do that. So if you can call that fate, you can call that fate, but we all had a good laugh about it, and we were one of the quickest listed products on Ryanair. We went right through to getting on the aircraft within 6 weeks of that decision being made.
That's certainly a great story, absolutely. It's one that Michael O'Leary would appreciate. From there, how did you exploit that opportunity across the airline sector?
Well, obviously we got on to Ryanair, so I wanted to leverage the fact that we were already in the airline sector now. So what we did there was we went to one of the local procurement show, basically where all the airlines go to do their buying for the year. This was in Valencia in Spain. Managed to get a grant off for Enterprise Ireland, and we went out there and we did some good business. I was absolutely amazed by the volume. These guys were looking at ordering anywhere from 500,000 to 3 million, and I just trying to take that on board was just it was just amazing to see how the whole sector worked. Now I learned lots from there, and I kind of partnered up with a company out there who knew the airline sector, and since then we've been working with these guys. They're already with the customers. They showed their customer base our product, and we've gone on from there. So as a result of that, now we send fun packs out to France. We send them out to the Far East, Dubai, and so on. So, but it's a market we really want to exploit going forward.
And what else have you done to develop the product over the last number of years?
Well, we looked at the whole sector of branding. We found out earlier on that if the hotel had its name on it, then there's a certain loyalty factor there that they would come back to you again and again and again. We also had to keep the product very fresh. We had to keep it innovative and put into the packs what the kids wanted, what was relevant. I mean, with kids, there's a whole series of jokes that go around the country by text, so we had to make sure those ones were in the pack. We had to bring things in seasonally, so we'd bring out a Christmas fun pack or an Easter fun pack or a summer fun pack. I mean, that was a very good idea that people would use us mainly in the summer time that they wouldn't have used us before, but these places would maybe close down over the winter period. So we kind of added a whole strand of customers by bringing out one of our summer fun packs.
Okay, you've done certainly lots to innovate the product over the last couple of years. Where is the fuel for innovation coming from?
Observation, hearing back from the focus group of kids. The kids are kids wherever they go, wherever they are in the world. I mean, you go on holiday, you see how kids get together. They don't speak each other's language, but they seem to have this hidden understanding that works. So we were pretty sure what worked in Ireland, or in the UK would work on the continent and beyond. So in terms of innovation, I guess there that we would look at coming up, whatever was trending. We looked at maybe licensing, branding on the products as well. So we looked at maybe getting some of the cartoon characters on board, but that was a little bit prohibitive in terms of licensing fees and so on. So we had to come up and invent our own characters.
And where's the product manufactured?
It's printed in Kilkenny, and which we're very proud of. It is also, we use then home workers to make the products. So it's a very good process. It's very cost effective. We've great loyalty with our printers, and they're always there to help us out. When we're testing out new products, they're very good to let us do small print runs at very cost-effective rates. And from that, then, we're able to test the market. So, as I said, we print them in Kilkenny. We use home workers to make them up, and then we ship them out from Castlecomer in Kilkenny.
Okay, and have you looked at China as an alternative from a cost-effectiveness perspective?
Yeah, we have. I mean, I was always very loyal to maybe having a 100% Irish product, but in reality, you can't really stick to that. I mean, if we had an order for maybe 1 million fun packs in the morning, can we fulfill that order? So we have looked at China. We have agents set up in China, so we're ready to go if we get some unusually large orders, which is always the target. We really want to grow the business, but we need to be able to fulfill that growth as well.
And from a market share perspective, what sectors are performing well for you today?
Well, one of the newest sectors we're dealing with now is the promotional sector, and that would be for, let's say, for instance, the National Dairy Council come to us and we would design games based around the dairy sector. So that's a brand new market to us. So we've done the same for a number of other Irish state bodies, Irish Aid and so on. And with that, then, we've become known in the sector to design really good games, good content to suit their end user and get their end message across.
Okay, this is a paper-based product. How do you find it competes with, we'll say, gaming? Because that's the big competitor for you out there today, I presume.
Oh, absolutely. But, kids still love to get out a colouring set. They still love to get the crayons out and colour in the sheets. They still like to work out the puzzles. They still like to... the games themselves are very educational based, so there'll be a lot of maths equations, there'll be English word games, there'll be, colouring games, spot the difference. No matter how digital the kids are gone, they still love spot the difference. It's a very tactile product. The kids love holding the products. But it's, as I said at the beginning of the interview there, it's not a book product. The packs themselves open up. Every card is upside down, back to front. Kids love turning it, spinning it, opening it, closing it, So it doesn't mean we can kind of rest on our laurels there. We always have to be looking what's around the corner, what's trending. But at the end of the day, the feedback from the kids has been phenomenal. We get feedback from parents who love the product. All the parents like the idea that the packs are educationally driven as well, and it kind of, I guess, it gets the kids away from the smartphone or from the tablet, and that's got to be a good thing.
What's the next step for FunPacks?
Well, as we say, we were talking about digital there, and we are looking at of taking the FunPacks into the digital space, for the want of a better way of putting it. So we have had some preliminary work done with a company, and they have digitized some of our games, and they look absolutely brilliant. So we see a kind of a middle ground where we use the FunPack as an intro to drive in traffic to our website, where the kids can go on interactive games, and we can take it from there then and see where that takes us. From
a marketing perspective, to focus on any particular sector, where do you think the growth is going to come from?
As I've just been saying there, I think the digital market is ready to go. I mean, tablets now seem to be the next big thing, the smartphones. So we feel we don't want to lose the tactile feel with the FunPacks, So as I was saying there, that maybe the FunPacks can be used to introduce the kids to FunPacks.ie. Once they get on there, then we can, drive digital games. We're also looking at maybe talking to the airline sector about that we could design digital content that could be preloaded onto the aircraft monitors, so kids can order activities on the monitors you see built in the back of the seats of the airline. So that's something we're looking at the moment. We're hoping to speak to a couple of strategic partners on that. So really, it's work in progress.
Well, it's a great success story. So, Tom, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for coming in and speaking to us this morning, and wish you continued success with FunPacks.ie. Here at Business Matters, we want to hear your thoughts on the programme. You can contact us by emailing businessmatters@southeastradio.ie. For more information on today's show, you can follow me on Twitter at Karl Fitzpatrick or visit karlfitzpatrick.ie. We're almost at closing time here at Business Matters, but before we go, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my production team, my guests for their contribution, and especially you for listening. Join me again next Saturday morning when I'll be speaking to more of the business leaders that you want to know more about. But in the meantime, have a great week.
You're listening to Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick in association with Wexford Insurances. Think Wexford Insurances for your business insurance.